Hey guys, welcome to more Roslyn. I am here today interviewing Echota from Echota is Healing, and I'm just going to ask her a bunch of questions. So say, hey Echota.
Hey, Echota.
You'll have to forgive us. We've already done her interview, and we know we're brain fog because we're on day 16 of a low-fat, raw, vegan, medical medium 28-day cleanse.
And we know that because we looked it up in our calendars because that's how we...
Yeah, so her video is probably a lot funnier than mine, and we have brain fog. We wanted to give it to y'all raw as to what happens on this 28-day cleanse and what is coming up for us. And, we're just doing the real stuff because we don't see any of these videos on YouTube. So, Echota, I want to ask you, because you had, before you started this, did you have a lot of pain in your body?
Before I started this particular cleanse?
Before you started the medical medium.
Oh gosh, yes. Yes, my world was fatigue, pain, and more pain. Yes, absolutely.
So, and you've been cleansing for how long?
21 months.
Okay. So on doing the raw cleanse now, what's your pain been like? Or what was your pain before and what's your pain now? It's still in the medical medium style.
It's interesting because my pain actually went away. I don't even know how long it took, honestly, like months or 10 months. I don't know. I don't know when I remember I noticed one day that I wasn't in pain anymore because I have always, for 25 years or longer have had lower back pain. And I had developed bursitis in my hips. I had arthritis in my neck and back, in addition to my lower back pain. And then also because I have a diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder that makes your connective tissue very stretchy.
That's
things like that.
Oh,
I'm showing you, yeah. Yes. My weird hands, yeah. Because of that, I just had a lot of pain in my body. It's hard to hold myself upright, and so that causes a lot of pain. I also have a lot of extra weight on my body that causes extra pain because it puts pressure on my joints and stuff. But my pain I honestly, when I started medical medium, I wasn't even thinking that this could happen at all. But my pain actually pretty much disappeared and was gone for quite a long time for the most part. And when we came to Wisconsin, it started coming back a little bit. There's a lot of toxins in this area. There's toxins in the apartment I live in. So my toxin load's been a little bit heavier. And healing is not linear. Sometimes you go through bouts of detox and then your pain will flare up depending on what it is. And so your question was, hey, I remembered just now. Wait a minute, I'm answering a question. So now I forgot.
What's your pain like during
okay. Yeah. So right before I started doing raw again, my pain was a little bit, mostly it only flares during my menstrual cycle in my lower back. And the rest of the time I'm relatively pain-free. If I stand up for too long, I have to rest my back because that sacral spot in my back will be sore. But it's pretty good. I mean, comparatively, compared to how it was, holy moly, it's way better. And
you haven't had enough big pain flares or issues that you're like, I'm done with this detox or I'm done with raw?
No, not at all. No, I have had a little bit of flaring since I started the raw. It's more soreness, and then I get sore in my shoulders. That's my shingles, and then I get that pain in my lower back, and sometimes the bursitis in my hips will flare up, and that has happened a little bit, just a tiny bit, not very much. So yeah, that has been happening, but I know it's part of the detox, so I'm just kind of rolling with it and honoring it and resting when it hurts and letting go, because it's also lessening. Like it flares a little bit and then it'll lessen, and yeah, it's part of the process.
So let's talk about shingles, because that's the bursitis in your hips is from the shingles virus, correct?
Yeah, the bursitis in my hips, and then the tightness across my shoulders, and the itching all over my body. I mean, on my back. I should say on my back. It's not all over my body anymore. It used to be.
So how did you know you had shingles? Like, what did you just finally go to a practitioner and they told you, or did you notice that you had so many symptoms you looked it up? One of the books.
I actually didn't realize that I had shingles for the first year and a half. I didn't realize my itching was because of shingles or the bursitis. Now, it's funny because when I spoke to my practitioner again, she swears that she told me the first time, but it's not in my notes anywhere from our first talk with each other. I just remember strep and EBV, and also that's because when I read the first book, that's kind of how I was like, oh, this is what I've got going on. So my focus was just like strep and EBV, and it wasn't until the EBV kind of started going down that I started thinking, well, and also doing detox mastery with Muniza and learning more about what shingles was, because shingles is in your body. The symptoms manifest basically, I think of shingles as hot and itchy. It burns and it itches. So if you've got anything that's like burning and itching, or either or, and a lot of times it's on one side of the body, that's shingles. It doesn't have to be on one side of the body. It doesn't have to be localized. It can travel, moves all over the place, and it can be your legs. It literally can be any part of your body, because there's so many different varieties of shingles. But the way I usually recognize it, and especially if somebody else is talking about their symptoms, I'm like, if I hear hot and burning and itching, I'm like, okay, you got shingles going on. So that's kind of what it causes. And so the bursitis, it's like a burning pain in my hips. It's like a burning hot pain. The itching is itchy all over my back. It's so itchy, and it travels. And I used to get it in my toes too. When I was in the throes of my chronic illness, I remember I used to get in my toes. I'd get like sharp burning pains in my feet and my toes. And it would be like hot and itchy. And it felt like it was just inside where I wouldn't ever be able to scratch it or reach it. Oh, that was horrible. That went away though. That has not, knock on wood, that has not come back. I don't have anything wood to knock on. Oh yes, I do. Here. Okay. So
yeah, I know I'm the same way. Yeah. So you've been on the EBV Epstein-Barr virus protocol. You've been on the streptococcus protocol, and now you're doing shingles protocol. So what does just your supplements change, or do you change your foods? What do you change when you switch from one to the other?
Because so the protocols overlap so much, which is great. So there's only like a couple of extra supplements here and there that for me, I would change, that I added. So when I started focusing on shingles, because before with Epstein-Barr virus and then strep, like I think about strep and I think Golden Seal and Sovereign Silver are the two extras. But Sovereign Silver you also do for Epstein-Barr, but Golden Seal is the big one for strep. Yeah. And shingles, the two extra ones that I added were ALA and lobelia. Lobelia. I
don't know.
I read it as lobelia. I don't know.
Did you get off the Golden Seal to add these on?
No. I still do all my other tinctures and supplements too, because, the overlap, the L-lysine, the ester C, the neuromag, and the mag-glycinate, and trying to think everything I take.
The liposomal C and zinc and B12.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of those. And the multivitamin and the probiotic and the melatonin for sleep and all that stuff. So that is just kept it in and all that. And then the tinctures, licorice and lemon balm for everything, you know.
Yeah.
Those are the ones, see, so many of them overlap. And I take lomatium and mullein and I'm like going through my tinctures thing and trying to remember. Anyway, all those tinctures and that, but I upped my golden seal to kind of, because that's it. The EBV I feel in my body is down a lot. And so I don't need to focus on it as much anymore. So I was like, let's get these other guys out. Like strep was so tenacious. And I was like, I'm just going to up my arsenal against strep. And then I really kind of was realizing, listening to all of Anthony's shows and doing the detox mastery with Muniza, I was like, oh, this is shingles. Oh, okay. This is shingles. I think in the detox mastery is when I first kind of realized, oh, this isn't EBV, this extra itching. I was wondering why that part wasn't going down. Not the itching, I'm sorry, the burning, the bursitis in my hips and the pain in my sacral spot.
So can you tell that it's starting to go down now?
It is now. Oh yeah, because that's right. We talked about that. With the cleanse and all the juicing and stuff recently, like my next level of cleansing, it actually has. That itching, it got so mad because I added the lobelia and the ALA like, I don't know, like a month before we started doing this, because I added it around the time I started asparagus juicing. I'm on 52 days of that now, so I added it like right at the same time, and it made the shingles mad, so it got all flary and itchy on my back, and it's been crazy. But it actually has been going down recently, which is delightful because I'm not just itching constantly on my back all the time.
So
it's a relief.
Yeah. So with the ALA and the lobelia, you can just you don't have. Those aren't tinctures; those are capsules.
The lobelia is a tincture, and the ALA is a capsule.
But you don't have to get off of those like you do the golden seal or the licorice root.
No, they don't need to be pulsed.
Okay, because sitting here talking to you, this is kind of interesting. So this is what's happened to me. I've had a session with Anthony. And that was 30 minutes, and then I had an hour with Carolyn Cavanaugh, which was maybe I had 2 sessions with her. I can't quite remember. And then I had a session with Kimberly from the Reclaimers. And Kimberly, it was a third session or my third practitioner session in all that she's finally like, you have strep. You know, I know Anthony told me to get off all grains completely, but it didn't ever say I had strep. So I kind of tried to ignore it for a long time.
Right.
I can't do this. You know, it took me forever to get off the rice and stuff.
Me too. I was in denial about that one for a while. I was like, wait, what? Rice feeds strep? Oh my gosh.
I have strep. And then finally, like, Kimberly's like, you have strep. You're so nasally. And I'm like, I am nasally. And I always have a stopped up nose. And I always have like congested, like I always feel like my lungs couldn't stretch as much as they can now over the past few weeks. Like breathing is a lot easier. And so I was like, oh, I've got so much strep. So then I started trying to knock it down with like, I just started Golden Seal on Monday. And then, I started back on because I've had it forever, my Sovereign Silver. But I do Sovereign Silver nose spray because I like it. But I actually have Sovereign Silver that like I just take.
I have a question. When you do the nose spray, how many sprays do you do? My bottle of nose spray says 20 sprays in each nostril. And I'm like, that's not possible. Well, I can do 1.
5.
You can do 5?
5. My nose can't hold it, but I'll do like 3 and then take a minute on each nostril and come back. Yeah, but I mean, I'll do like 5 sprays and 5 sprays. If my nose can get it up there. If it's going to run out of my nose, I'm not going to do it. You know,
that's impressive. I can only get it 1. I can do 1. And I'm like, 20? Where are they going to put it?
Look at that and see what my bottle says. I know it said 5, I thought.
Is the label wrong on my bottle? This can't be right.
Yeah, could you imagine putting that much Sovereign Silver up your nasal cavities?
Yeah, I can't. No, yeah. Like I just pour it in like a what's the neti pot? Like the neti pot.
Exactly. So it's funny. I might be having an aha moment because I thought that Anthony said you can't have, but I knew people had it, but I got so confused. But I thought he said you can't have EBV and strep at the same time, but that's not true.
Oh yeah, they're cofactors. They're buddies. EBV and strep are pals.
No, I'm sorry. I said strep. I meant
shingles.
Shingles.
Oh, yeah. You can have all of them. You can have HHV. You can have several HHVs. You can have EBV. You can have shingles. You can have the party of viruses. I did.
So I wonder if you can see it today because I cut the fat out and it's helped. But this part of my hand would always be really red, very flaky, very itchy. I'm always like this. My head is still itchy, and there's still some red spots on my skin or whatever. And I'm wondering if I need to start treating my stuff for shingles because the whole back of my head will just catch on fire some mornings before I even wake up. It's like burning, itching, and if it's really bad, I have to go take a shower and wash my head because it won't calm down. Or I have to go do a juice. I've realized I can do cucumber or celery juice and it'll calm down. It'll calm completely down. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, but so I'm wondering if I have shingles instead of copper, like too much copper, because copper is eczema or psoriasis or whatever.
But yeah.
So I'm not sure. I know I've had shingles before, but I don't know if this is shingles. So it'll be interesting because the more, we detox, the more stuff comes up. So I might definitely go get some of the ALA and
lobelia
and just add that to my long list of tinctures and just like.
I know.
I mean, like by the time I add my water's here, by the time I add my tinctures, it's like here. Like, chug a lug. And then it's like, this stuff tastes wild. 1 minute I taste lemon, then I taste like golden seal, then I'll taste licorice root. I'm like, this is not a very good toddy.
For me, the licorice is the worst. I have never liked the flavor of licorice ever, ever, ever. I hate it. And
yeah, I'm not a fan of
it, but I'm like, it's okay, power it down. Yeah. Like it's doing good for me. So
my adrenals need help per the hair. So I'm like, that's what the hair tells me because it gets real knotty and dry. And that's what he said. Like when your adrenals get so bad, that's when your hair can go just crazy. And this is better because my hair used to be so knotty. I could not even do this. Like I had to just cut my hair off because I couldn't get it to quit being naughty because it was so dried out.
Yeah.
Yeah. My hair tells me a lot about my whole system and stuff. And so but it's just interesting because I've been so itchy for so many days. I'm like, was glad I cut the fat out because that helped. But I'm also wondering now, I'm like, crap, do I have shingles and EBV and strep? It's like, I don't want all these things. It's like enough. But, then if that's the case, you just kind of truck along and see what happens,
Yeah, it won't be forever. So
no.
It'll, we'll knock these out like we did. That's like you said, when the EBV started going down, I was like, okay, that's when I was able to see like, oh, I've got these other things going on.
Yeah.
Because they were like, okay, now we come out to party, Yeah. Because I was like, Yeah. Now we load up with new arsenal and start taking you out.
Exactly. Yeah, because the strep, I was like, I don't really have that much strep, but I probably got so much of my EBV load down, I assume, sort of, because I haven't been 100% compliant, but that my strep load. And I will say the one thing, because I don't know if you have this happen, but I have a good friends group or whatever, and they all know I eat this way, and they all, friends and family, have all said something. And my clients, everybody's had their moment in the day with talking crap about my food.
Running commentary about the food, right.
Right. And they never think about how it affects me. And it's like I tell my sister, I'm like, listen, if I am eating this way, and I've never been eating anything like this my whole life. So if I'm eating this way, whatever I'm going through must be so bad that I am at my wit's end to change it. So you have to just know that.
Right.
And then also, but the other thing is I feel so good and I love to feel good, that I'm just going to keep feeding the good because I don't really want to feed the bad anymore. So for the people out there that are really wondering, well, I don't know if this works. And once they get started, they'll get better, but then they start detoxing and they second guess themselves and all this kind of stuff.
Right. And here we are talking about like, and then this flared up and now I'm all itchy, but it's good because it's coming up and out. That's the thing, is I don't worry anymore when I get a symptom and when something's flaring, especially because I know I'm detoxing. I'm like, it's good because it's like, yes, this is now showcasing itself. It's coming up and out. It's to show me like, this is what the next thing I need to be healing and working on. And it's coming out of me. That's when I'm noticing it and when I'm seeing symptoms, it means it's coming out of me. So I get a little excited. I mean, I don't get too excited about the fatigue and brain fog, but
yeah. But I will say, like, it helps me to slow down my life a little bit. It helps me to realize, okay, you're going too hard, too strong, too fast. But I also say, like, it's to be able to detox as much and to feel this much, you know, it's worth it. And I even have people now, like some of my friends, they're drinking smoothies and they're like, those things don't last. I'm like, nope, your body, I was like, that is pure energy. You just, and your body gobbled it up and says, I want more. And so I have to explain it to them like that. I'm like, your body is not made for you to eat and then not eat for a while. Like, we're not, no animal is really made that way. Fish, they eat all the time. Horses, they graze all the time. Cows, they graze all the time. I mean, animals, we're supposed to be grazing all the time. There's really not, I mean, lions and stuff, they eat, you know, and alligators or whatever, but trust me, they would rather be eating all the time, you know?
Right.
They just can't, they're kind of active. So they have to work for their food. And they eat such high fatty foods that they're lethargic after they eat a meal, you know? So, well,
and their bodies are more designed to handle it too. Like they have different digestive systems. They have different bodies, and they're carnivores. They're made to be carnivores. So
exactly. So it's funny to watch people talk about my food, and then they actually went and did it, and it's
right.
Like now, like, it's crazy 3 years later, but I'm literally have people that are like doing more smoothies and they're doing salads and stuff, and I'm telling them stuff and I'm explaining to them like, well, this is what I've experienced and this is how this works, and you know, try this. I'm like, well, if your salad's not lasting, you add a sweet potato to it. You know, if you, I hear Muffin, she's so cute.
I know
she's just going away. It's okay though.
She's really sleeping right.
So yeah, I just love the whole like the whole challenge of, well, I've gotten this far, how much further can I get? You know, can I lose weight with this? Can I eat foods that I like with this? Can I handle the detox? Because for the longest time, I was pure T scared to detox as much as some of the people I saw on Facebook. Because I know I have high loads of EBV because of freaking fatigue that I've had.
Yeah.
And the skin stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is my skin going to blow out? But I will honestly say the energy and the other stuff have outweighed the fear of what's fixing to come out of my body.
Yeah.
Just the being able to have such a change that I've never felt before. And then to be so proud of myself for being raw for so many days, like, oh my gosh, you know, that fuels itself too. So it's just been such a interesting journey that I'm so glad I get to do this with you, and it's so much fun and crazy and fatigue and brain fog at the same time.
It's all the things, because there's been emotional detox, there's been physical detox. And then there's, you know, bursts of energy, or not like, you know, frenetic energy or whatever, but just like you said, stamina, just able to kind of continue through the day and that. And
so let me ask you something.
Yes.
So, with me, some of the emotional stuff that's come up is I've had like aha moments of, oh, this is a little bit more how people work. And this is like, I've had stuff where like, well, if I do this, my husband's going to react this way. Well, I'm doing this, he's reacting this way, he's doing that, I'm reacting the same way, but I'm mad at him for reacting this way. Whereas I never felt that kind of stuff before. I never could, like, cognitively, my brain didn't ever function that way. I think it was because of all the EBV and the ADHD type stuff, the heavy metal. So to be able to see that through this cleanse, I'm like, oh, so, you know, so what, have you had like some cool emotional stuff where you've had like aha moments? You can share, you don't have to share, because I didn't ask you about this previously.
No, that's fine. I'm just trying to think. I know after the castor oil packs, because you know how they say that anger is stored in the liver. Oh, and when I did the castor oil packs, I was very, my son says salty. I was very salty the next day after the next couple days after the first one. And even after the second one, I was like, and I noticed that I was because I have been, I guess, a lot more chill and mellow and non-reactive to things in general. Like the deeper I get into healing, like the less salty I get about things and the less reactive I get to things. And, but I noticed after the castor oil packs, like the whole day on, I guess it was Sunday, I was just like grumpy and irritable. And it's like, I sort of didn't notice it until I would speak. And I heard myself saying like grumpy, irritable things. And I was like, man, I'm really just crabby today. I don't know what my deal is. And my husband's like, yeah, you've been a little salty. And I was like, yeah, I have. And I'm like, probably don't talk to me because I don't want to bite your head off, but I probably will. So just don't but it was interesting because we could sort of laugh about it rather than just starting a fight like we usually would.
That's interesting because neither one of us corresponded too much over the weekend with each other.
Yeah.
So that's really funny that that was going on and you kind of kept to yourself anyways.
Because I'm like, don't talk to anybody when I'm like this. I try not to spread it around. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be that way with you. It's more likely to just be grumpy with my husband. But yeah, I noticed that I was just like, whoo, something's coming up. So like, everybody stand clear and just go. And they did, actually. It was interesting because my husband and son were kind of like hanging out together all day and playing Lego and plush and stuff and doing their thing and, you know, video games. And I just kind of did my thing and
very cool.
Just let it happen. Like, okay, take a detox bath, try to get this out.
So your last castor oil pack, was it Saturday night or Sunday night?
The first one I did was Thursday night, and then I didn't do Friday night because I forgot my husband goes out gaming Friday night, and I still needed assistance. I kind of don't need assistance now because I've got the hang of it, but so I skipped 2 nights. The second night I skipped because I was having a really great conversation with a friend of mine, and it was bedtime after I was talking to her. And that's the other thing is that it's like I keep just this healing is sort of happening. I keep seeing all this emotional stuff come up, and my friend and I actually had in the first part of our conversation, it was we had a moment where we both got triggered at the same time, and we both got a little bit reactive, but then we both were like, our friendship means too much to us. So we were like, oh gosh, I just got triggered just then and here. And then we just talked through it. And then at the end, of course, we came out the other side, like understanding each other better and feeling closer than ever. And we both cried. And, you know, like we had the hard conversation and came out the other side. And it was just like, this is amazing. And even that whole conversation around that after that was all about like how much we've both healed emotionally in our relationships with like our families of origin and even each other and in our lives and stuff like that, like all the emotional healing we've done. And that was really powerful, which was why I was like, I'll just wait another day for the castor oil pack. This is too good to stop. Like we just kept having, it was just like such a great conversation. And, but yeah, it's really amazing through this whole process, not just the raw cleanse, although that's really kind of opening stuff up even more. But through the whole medical medium healing process, healing chronic illness, it's like, it is not just physical. There is so much that happens during healing that, like, sorry, my little earbud keeps trying to fall out of my ear. That's why I keep doing that. But there's so much healing that happens, so much emotional healing that happens that just kind of blows your mind, like traumas and PTSD stuff. And, you know, it's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
What was the question? Am I answering a question right now?
The question was, did you do your last castor oil pack and get angry that next day, or was it?
No, it was after, so I did the first one Thursday, and then I was salty on Sunday. Let me see.
Well, you had 2 nights off.
I know.
So
and I was
the first one Wednesday.
Salty on Sunday, and then I did Sunday night, and then I did Monday night. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So today.
So it was even a couple days after the first one. I was still having that emotion, that, grumpy stuff coming up and out.
Okay.
Which I notice tends to happen with me, where like if sometimes it'll be a couple days later, or still happening a couple days later, or whatever.
Yeah, like I have that's why whenever you were talking about the anger, I was like, oh crap, because if I try this, like I have some deep-seated anger stuff still in me that I work through with therapy and different things. But I will say, it's like you being on all these foods, so much more stuff doesn't bother me. I can just let things go and stuff. I don't get so attached, or I give it up to God, or I ask an angel to come in or something like that. Or like I'm able to like let go, and things are much clearer now, like emotionally clearer, and things like that I'm trying to work on spiritually and stuff. And I'm like, oh, because I even kind of want to do some meditation a little bit, maybe at some point when I feel like I have enough time, but that might be also while I do the castor oil packs, because I've had so many big things happen in the meditations, or like my days and things are so much better when I do that.
Yeah. So, well, you can do both at once. You can meditate while you're doing the castor oil pack, and then you just knock those both out.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to definitely try it. But I'm going to wrap this up, and thank you, blessings, for this. Our 2 interviews are so different. We touch on so much stuff. So y'all definitely got to go to Echota is Healing and watch her video, and come back to mine. Or if you watch mine, we've both got 2 different videos. They're not the same. And they're all talking about the 28-day raw cleanse, amongst other cleanses, amongst all medical medium, lifestyle stuff. So go check us out. Thank you so guys for chiming in, and we'll see you later. Say bye, Echota.
Bye.